Tonight, an update to the stunning IRS news that On the Record first reported last month. We told you that millions of illegal immigrants granted amnesty by President Obama's executive actions are getting free money from the IRS. Many of them did not pay taxes. Well, it gets worse. Now IRS Chief John Koskinen writing a letter to Congress standing by the IRS decision. And Representative Jim Jordan joins us. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Greta.
So explain to me how someone who didn't pay taxes, didn't file, can be getting what I refer to as free money from the IRS. How does that happen?
Yeah, or what we call the amnesty bonus. Once you get the Social Security number, the IRS says that individual can go back, and if they've been having taxes withheld, they can go back and get a refund in the Earned Income Tax Credit. John Koskinen, under oath, 3 weeks ago, was questioned in the committee, and he confirmed that, and now he confirms it again with the letter that you referenced in your opening statement.
Okay. Now, is this a refund, meaning that they previously paid these taxes and it was an overpayment, or is it something different? I mean, is this money they actually paid in, and had they paid taxes, they would get it back, or is this different?
No, this is the Earned Income Tax Credit, which is not. It's a refundable tax credit, which means they may still owe taxes, but they're eligible for the Earned Income Tax Credit. So it's a bonus. That's why we call it the amnesty bonus. And potentially 5 million people who were part of the president's order last November, potentially they could receive this bonus.
Now, as I understand it, Commissioner Koskinen says that this is a decision by the chief counsel at the IRS, but that it goes back to a decision made by the IRS back in 2000. Is that right?
That's what Mr. Koskinen says. We're looking at that. Whoever did it, it's wrong and it shouldn't happen. But the reason it's going to happen for 5 million people potentially is because of the president's order, which we have said for several weeks now is unconstitutional. But more importantly, the point we're making tonight is, what we're talking about is, it's unfair. It's unfair to taxpayers that non-citizen illegals are going to get this bonus that they helped, their tax money is going to get be used for.
Did you ever? I mean, what does the commissioner say about this? I mean, the commissioner's taken a lot of heat for a lot of reasons, but now I mean, I think a lot of taxpayers would be pretty upset. It's not like this is a refunds and overpayment. This is something very different.
No, it sure is, and it points to the patent unfairness that's involved in the president's decision. I tell people all the time, it's not only unfair for taxpayers, unfair for senior citizens, that now non-citizens, illegals are going to participate in our Social Security system. It's unfair, maybe most importantly, it's unfair to the legal immigrants who do things the right way. Now, their tax dollars are going to be used for those who do it the wrong way. So this thing is unconstitutional, what he did. That's why we're having this big debate in Congress. But more importantly, or just as importantly, it's unfair on a number of fronts.
Do you have any idea how much this is going to cost the rest of the taxpayers to pay this?
No, we don't, but obviously it's going to, if you got 5 million people who are eligible for it potentially, we're talking real dollars, we're talking real money here. And this compounded on all the other things with the IRS. The fact that just recently we've discovered there are more tapes that were just found just a few weeks ago that contain Lois Lerner emails potentially from 2009, 2010 when the targeting started. So all this happening from the Internal Revenue Service, John Koskinen's got a lot of explaining to do.
Well, he's actually, Commissioner Koskinen is the one who said, I thought that he'd turn over all the emails. So, yes, he does have a lot of explaining to do. He might start with, like, whose team is he on in terms of, is he trying to help the taxpayers try to have a system that works fairly and where, we're trying to get all the information, or is he on some other team?
He told us back in June that the backup tapes no longer existed. 2 weeks later, the Inspector General drove to Martinsburg, West Virginia, and found 700 backup tapes where they got a number, 32,000 of Lois Lerner's emails. Then just 3 weeks ago, they found 400 more backup tapes. And you know how they found them, Greta? They were going through the sequence of documents that reference what happens to these tapes, and they noticed a document was missing. They inquired, and they got this document, and that document led them to these 400 additional tapes. So Mr. Koskinen told us in June, no backup tapes exist, and since that time, we have found 1,100 backup tapes, and 400 of them were discovered after we got a document that they tried to withhold from us, or sure looks like they withheld from us. That's why last week, Mr. Camus at the Inspector General's office said there's potentially criminal activity going on with these 400 tapes.
I honestly, Congressman, I really don't get this. I mean, this should be about fairness, and if we've got the commissioner who apparently won't even give a straight story, it's sort of hard to get to the facts in order to have some sense of fairness. But
we're going to stay after him.